The thing is, we shouldn't even go live. We could just take the same thing from a couple of weeks ago, or even a game last season, and put the same thing here. Leicester City 1, Crystal Palace, Southampton 2. Che Adams could have got 3, could have got a hat trick in the dying moments of the game. Alex, what are your thoughts?
Same malarkey, different day.
Yeah, that's kind of where we are. And it just doesn't help any situation. Like, we had it in the again first half, we were playing some great football. I'm like, where's this team come from? But I swear I said that a lot of times before. Build into the game, working forward, and all of a sudden it just capitulates. And we would play good football, but do you think is it exactly the same thing that happened to Brentford?
It's the same thing. Brilliant first half. We capitalized, early on in the second half, and then we fell apart. We stopped playing. We took our foot off the gas. We coasted, and in the end, it's the same story that we've been talking about game in and game out, not just for this season, but also for, I would say, most of last season.
Hmm.
And it's I feel and I sound like a broken record because I feel like we are highlighting the same issues game in and game out. And as supporters, it's I feel like everybody's seeing it, or a good portion of Leicester City supporters are seeing it. Like hell, I'm seeing it, and I'm across the friggin' ocean, and I'm like, there's stuff that is going wrong. How isn't the manager and the coaches not seeing these issues, and why aren't they fixing it? And it just seems like it's an ongoing issue that hasn't been resolved. And and this is and we were talking just before we went live, when we were talking about, is it all Brendan Rodgers' fault? And and the way I look at it is that every single thing currently can go back to the manager. The players aren't good enough. You brought the players in. That's your fault. The players aren't motivated. You're the manager. Motivate the players. We don't have the funds. Well, you brought in players that you thought would be good. Half those players aren't even getting on the on the bench at this rate, and you're complaining. If you can't bring players in, utilize the players that you have and do something. And it's like, it honestly looks like that Brendan Rodgers doesn't care. It looks like he's lost like the dressing room. You can't keep throwing things at the wall hoping that they'll stick. And I think we've passed the crossroads. Like, Brendan needs to go, and I will say that he needs to go.
And there's a few people that are saying the same thing in the comments. Again, I know our comment section has been quite Brendan out. However, again, let's just get through. So David's put in a comment about not a big XG van. No, neither am I, but XG for 0.26. We had one shot on target all game. I think that was the Madison goal. Literally, that was it. And considering the attacking talent we have, like, our attack is better than our defense, but couldn't do that. People are saying, glad I didn't go to the match. Having time of life. Glad you are. Just wasn't good. Brad's in the comments. Again, if you have not found it, Brad's got his own podcast, Matter of Opinion. Make sure you go and subscribe to that. Yet again, first to win the ball, setback, negative. The thing is, we were in control for the first 45 minutes. If we could finish it off, we could have got something, but it's just the thing is, Alex, I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over again because we go all the way back and it just feels like continual problems that were just, and it was guaranteed for us to that. It was when they went up and okay, they can score a goal 1-0, okay, 1-1, okay, no problem, we can try and secure. That goal was coming. We didn't create anything after the Madison goal. We didn't challenge them. We didn't want to win the ball. It seems like the team, as soon as the one goal goes in, throwing the towel. All right, we've quit now, no problem, and then they end up losing the game.
And that's the thing. And it's not like we've talked about this for the first 3 games of the season. This has been going on since the start of last season, I would say, like, brutally honest. And like you said, I'm sick and tired of talking about it. It's like every single week we're talking about the same thing, and it's like we stop playing after we've gotten the lead. We can't defend any set pieces. are brutal in our end. Our defending is atrocious. Rodgers is making poor decision making. You know, it's like a culmination of the same thing. And I really do not know how Brendan Rodgers could come out this weekend with a job. Like, I'm at the point where if the board doesn't act on this, then, and I know the respect that supporters have for the board, but I firmly believe that if nothing is done at this rate, the board are going to start taking heat from supporters because it's that bad. You need to do something now because, like I said, you're throwing things at the wall, hoping they're not sticking. Nothing's working. Like nothing's working. And it's just one issue after another. You know, the Fofana situation that's going on is brutal. You know, there's still been talk about Tielemans being, leaving the club. You know, we signed, Jamie Vardy to an extension. Do we love Jamie Vardy? Absolutely. But we need more pieces up front. He's at the tail end of his career. He's not going to fix the situation and the issues that are going on right now. Like, we need drastic things that need to change. And not only have we waited too long in the transfer window, but like, let's be serious. We're 18th in the table. Who the heck wants to come to Leicester right now? Like, let's be serious here.
Unless you throw money at the problem, which won't help. Again, where's the Premier League table? Again, where we are. Again, granted, it's 3 games in, but we are all the way down. All the way down the relegation zone. Manchester United, 1 point behind us. I know they've got Liverpool, but still, it's not looking pretty at the moment. It's not looking pretty, and it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. We'll just jump back into the comments. Again, apologies for whatever that is. Is enough now? And it's been enough since last season, to be honest, with you, Doug. So make sure you go subscribe to the Dugout Football channel. Lovely, lovely guy as well. Make some great football content of all different kinds. David's put in the comments, this was nauseating to watch. Yeah, especially that second half. We know whether we need new players or not, it's about to show them respect. No disrespect them. We need to be able to go beat it. And especially being 1-0 up, game management once again. Go and manage out the game. Stick a couple of defenders on. We've got a couple of players that you could stick on from a defensive point of view and just ease out the game. Park the bus. Do what you need to do. When they came on to us, our players looked scared. And it's like they look to the manager, and the manager goes, not bothered. And we've said that at Arsenal, it's kind of the same thing. And there needs to be the players don't believe in the manager. The manager just goes, well, I'm here for the paycheck. So it just seems like it was an inevitability we were going to lose. And it could have been more. Again, we could have had a hat trick. Jay Adams.
Well, do you know what the crazy thing is? And it's funny. I think the last time we were recording, when we were talking about the press conference that Rodgers said, Rodgers was praising Southampton. He said nothing about Leicester. And we come into this and it's like, to be brutally honest, I didn't have any belief that we were actually going to win. Like, I honestly thought, yeah, we're going to actually probably score first, but we're probably going to bottle it. And we did exactly that. Like, and the question making even for the starting 11, like, Suyuncu is in my opinion better than Amartey. Sure, has he not featured in a very long time? For sure, but that's because Brendan Rodgers doesn't rate him. But we're also in a position when Brendan Rodgers would probably rate a potato higher than Suyuncu or something. Like this is the rate, like the way that Rodgers is utilizing everything now. Like, I firmly believe that a sausage would do a better job at managing this club at this rate, because I would trust that sausage more than I believe in the sausage that is currently operating the club. Like, it's that bad. And I'm fed up. Like, I don't, like, at this rate, if people are making excuses saying it's not Rodgers' fault, like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like, I really, like, if you're trying to make excuses for Rodgers being like, well, it's not his fault, the board hasn't given him money. The board has given him so much money since he's been here. He's brought in many players, and a lot of them were expected to be these talented players, and they haven't cut out. And we're at this rate where we have these average to below average players on stupid wages that we can't get off the club now because, they're not going to be like, why am I giving up 70K for a club that I'm going to get starting minutes, but I'm only going to make half that? Like, this is the issue we're in. Like, it's not, the reason why we're in this predicament is that Rodgers hands the club hands stupid money to players that are not deserving of that money.
And we took a risk and it's not worked out. And it's just things like Doug's putting a comment again. 3 seasons at Liverpool. Again, he's a Liverpool supporter as well. And then fourth one, it imploded and feels like history repeat itself. The thing is, I think you had 2 seconds and third season syndrome for Rodgers. And then after that, it seems to be just, again, history repeating itself. As you were saying, we're not learning our lessons. And I don't know what more the board needs to see, because the boos at half time were harsh. And I think every week this goes on, the more that this loyal King Power group, King Power Stadium, the people that go to every game are turning more on the players and the manager. Obviously, the situation for Fofana, we'll get into that in a bit, and we've talked about that a little bit more. But completely different team after the goal. Not just this game. Again, this could be applied for
Every
6
game?
months.
Yeah, no, that's generous. Yeah. I'd say longer.
Spurs, Southampton, Newcastle, Brighton, West Ham. I'm struggling because there's so many that we could see. Again, We've got ourselves in front and we end up losing. And it's and even in this game, Alex, I was with you. When we're 1-0 up, I'd feel like, okay, we should be resting back, hands on our heads, like kind of let's see how the game goes. I was like, I'm not confident. Went 1-1, I went, all's coming. Went 2-1, I went, I'm numb to going behind when I shouldn't be. I should just be going, right, why are we losing? I should be raging. And I was raging, but I was raging before. Now this is just business as usual. And if it doesn't sort it out, then we're going to stay in this relegation zone, because we've got Chelsea next week. We've got some time where this is not going to be pretty.
No, and that's the thing. You hit the nail on the head. When we talked about, Leicester back in the day, I feel like I'm talking about eons ago, but I'm talking about like 2 years ago. Like, this is how I'm not talking about long ago. When Leicester would take the lead, clubs would be terrified. They'd literally shaken their boots, because Leicester would come charging at them again and probably make it 2 or 3-0. Now it's like Leicester are ahead, and the opposing club are like, we know this. Mm-hmm. They're going to start shaking, and we're going to take advantage of this. And it hasn't happened once. It hasn't happened twice. It has happened so many times over the last, I'd say, even 12 months at this rate, where you're like, yeah, this is typical. Same thing, same old Leicester at this point. Like, this is becoming like the Leicester thing. Like, it's no longer like Leicester going up 3-0 and being like, we got this in the bag. It's like, oh, Leicester bottled it yet again. Oh, Leicester did it again. Oh, look, again. And it's bad when, like, I have friends who are supporters of other clubs being like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, this sucks for you. Like, hearing that from like opposing like supporters of alternate clubs saying that, it's like, yeah, I know. Like, we're in deep crap. And like, that's how I feel right now.
And you're down at the ground. Again, sorry to cut you off, Alex, but Ant's there. Ant, give us your thoughts, mate.
Oh boy.
I'd like to say that I'm surprised, but it felt so predictable. Inevitable. It felt about as predictable as Monday coming, if I'm completely honest. Like, and you know what summed it up? Southampton fans singing, "We haven't won in 8. How shit must you be? We haven't won in 8."
Jesus, that's poor. That's really poor. Nearly as poor as Ant's connection. I think he's froze, but I'll leave him in just in case he comes back. Maybe a point to bring out. David's put in. Let's be fair. Great free kick again. Maddison again. To pick a positive of this, again, I'm going to drop ban now because I think he's just he's an internet explosion. But it was such a good free kick. I know we've got lots to complain about, and rightfully so. But Maddison's free kick was gorgeous.
Oh, it was absolutely gorgeous. 2 goals and an assist in his first 3 games with Leicester this season. And we are off to an absolute abomination of a start. And James Maddison literally is carrying the club in a way that, even though we're losing, he is the best player on the pitch, hands down. I made the joke saying, if this doesn't get, if he keeps playing like this on a Leicester side this bad, because it is this bad, and he somehow doesn't get into England's squad for the World Cup, which he probably won't because Southgate doesn't like him. Like I won't be shocked, but like I know we've been talking even about like James Maddison being like, oh yeah, we're gonna sign him to an extension. We want him to sign a new contract. Does he want to sign a contract with us right now? I know talks are good.
What's the benefit of him?
What's the benefit
everybody
of
else
it?
going to be? He goes, I'm trying to drag this team forward, and is it just going to be me?
He's the only player on the club right now that I'm like, you are doing exceptional. Like really, like our defense is just like a leaky faucet that just keeps getting worse and worse, and whoever the plumber is just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. We'll hope for the best here. Our midfield is just, I don't know what's going on there. And
they were all right for periods of time. KDH was decent at the beginning.
That's the thing, but then
Ndidi looked better than he's done for the last few months playing. It's strange because Ndidi, I was put down today, he looks good today. Ndidi looks not to top tier, but 6, 7 out of 10 that we know that Ndidi can do. So,
like, I'm still like, I think Ndidi has
Perez was good.
Yeah, but like we've talked about, you got to get shots on net. We only got one shot on net. Like, we could talk about, well, Perez had a great game. There was no shots on net from him. Oh, Vardy was no shots on net from him. Barnes, I don't even want to start on Barnes because I think he had an absolute horrible game.
Second half, he was invisible.
Yeah,
I forgot he was on the pitch. First half, he was trying stuff.
And the first half, he made terrible decisions the entire time. But like, I don't know anymore. I feel like I said, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this rate when we're talking about the same thing. And it's just like, you come on here and, everybody that's coming on here is probably like, oh, what are they going to talk about today? I can probably guarantee you what they're going to talk about because it's the same thing that's been going on for the past 12 months.
And I don't want it to be like that, but the thing is, there was, again, Castagna looked bright in the first half. Nice 1-2 with Perez. Again, this is me just trying to change it up and say, look, some things were good, but it wasn't good for 90 minutes. Again, Perez again came in, did surprisingly well. KDH was doing some good balls. Maddison was playing well. Jamie Vardy, he had a better game than usual, but it's a strange one, Alex, Jamie Vardy, because I mean, when they took him off and they put Daka on, levels didn't really change.
I love Jamie Vardy, but the club can't rely on a 35-year-old. And I really do mean that. I really believe that them signing him to an extension is just him being able to finish off his career here at Leicester. Like, I really believe that. But the club needs to move in a new direction in the sense of we need players that we can rely on. Vardy is definitely someone who comes when he is in his when he's playing good, he's reliable. But we also can't rely on a 35-year-old. It's just not practical. If Vardy goes down, then we go, well, we have Daka and Nacho. I was surprised that I saw Nacho actually on the pitch today. It's like a wild Nacho, and I couldn't believe it. And then Daka just hasn't really, for me, I still have high hopes for Daka, but he hasn't been able to showcase it in the Premier League.
No, he's not. And the thing is, I know he will come good. I know I've seen a great player in him. But even he looks demotivated. He's like he's not running around. There's something in the waters at Leicester that just make people don't know. I think we've had this discussion so many times. Who do we want in? I'd say Brighton. Or if he's not available now, I know it sounds really, people might disagree with me on this. Give it to somebody like Sean Dyche for the rest of the season, just to get us over this line, repair, and then bring in Potter next season or something like that. Because that way you can get us just out of a rut. And it is a rut because Brentford 2-0 at home. And what are the home crowd thinking? I know what they're thinking. What the hell are we? What are we paying all this money for this? And to see where we win and then to go down. I don't think we're getting relegated, people. Let's calm down in the comments. But it's dull. It's boring. It's inevitable. And that's the worst thing. It's just like, well, it's going to happen. No problem.
I will say, when it comes to terms on replacements, because I think we're at that rate where we need to replace Rodgers. There's no doubt about it. Like, no discussion. Do we keep him? Do we not? Like, he needs to go. That's my take on this situation. I'm going to be honest. Does Potter really want to come to Leicester right now? I wouldn't want to. Like, he's got Brighton. His squad did pretty good last season. They're not doing bad this season. He's probably going like, no, I'm not interested right now. Unless we like flash cash at him. But Rodgers is on 10 million a year to complain, so I don't think at this rate we're going to have a lot of funds to pay Potter. And that's the issue with that. Dyke would be like one that I'd be like, at this rate, why not? Like, I'm being serious. We're at this rate where I really do believe that if Brendan Rodgers is still the manager of this club come Christmas time, and I know this is a long shot because I don't think he's going to last to the World Cup. I don't really think he's going to last this weekend. But with him running the club, this club will be in a relegation battle. I firmly believe it under Rodgers, because Rodgers does not care. Rodgers does not care whatsoever. He's lost the dressing room. He doesn't believe in his players.
He's complimenting the other team more than even talking about his own players.
Yeah. Like, I just don't know. Like, I really don't know at this rate. Like, he's not he's not the answer, and we just can't.
Yeah. Somebody's mentioned again. James mentioned Potter. Sorry, Pochettino. Pochettino is not coming here. No way. He's on the upper echelons of manager. Where we're going for, he's on that bracket above. And unless we're going to give him half of Leicester Stadium, he won't come here. He genuinely won't. He's managed PSG. He's not going from PSG. He's holding out for them top jobs in Europe. He's not going to come here. So I don't think that's going to happen. Again, as Chess was saying, Maddison had the team on his shoulders, must hurt. Just feel like that at times as well.
Why do you think he's had so many knee issues?
Yeah. And you know what I mean? It's funny. Back to reality. Kind of.
Don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah, that's literally what Ethan's saying at the moment. Yeah. Don't cry, just laugh. And I'm just kind of all over it. People having to go. Well, I think Dave's put in about Wolves, Wales. So Danny Ward didn't do anything wrong. Didn't really do anything too horrific, but there wasn't just they didn't really have that many opportunities to really go right. He was tested and he worked out, because they literally had nobody. Nobody was there.
And like, let's be serious. Like, their back line didn't do anything. So, like I said, Ward's doing what he can. Iverson's not going to do any better, and that's the thing. Everyone's saying, "Oh, put Iverson in." Iverson's going to be in the exact same spot, and then everyone's going to be like, "Oh, well, we need to put Ward back in." You're going to be like, "Okay." Like, you the problem is that you take Ward out now, his confidence that is probably not there already because of how the club's been playing goes even further down. You put Iverson in, who has never played in a Premier League game, is probably quaking in his boots. And as soon as he lets in a goal, there goes his mentality. And then all of a sudden you go, well, we don't have a keeper that can stop anything. And it's like, well, yeah, it's because we have no defense. It's just an ongoing issue.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And also with you can put Iverson in if you've got a solid back four that goes, don't worry, we'll handle this. And you can kind of get away with having a not so good or an experienced goalkeeper, because our back line is all over the place. You need the most experience and the person that's been around the longest to take that on. And yeah, so many comments. So thank you guys so much. I can't keep up with them. There's just so many. But yeah, Montree put in, feels so flat. It really does, to be honest. And James put, this is what I mean. Kills me to moan about Leicester City. I'm all for praising Leicester where we can. I'm all for it, because this is my team. I've watched them. I want to be sitting here and going, do you know what? Leicester played well. And we did play well for some period of time, but not for 90 minutes. And you're only playing, and this the whole thing I was going off is, we're playing one game a week. We should be able to see these games out. No. It's just, Rodgers just feels like, again, it feel like he's lost the dressing room. And again, again, with everything, we'll get Lewis on again. Chelsea will batter us. We are genuinely, Chelsea's, it's not going to be fun. The game at home that we had about this time last year was not fun. And they've just got stronger defensively. And attacking wise, again, we'll get Lewis on and talk, but he said that they're not that strong attacking wise. But you saw against Che Adams, again, great player, great goal for the second goal for the technique. Good play by Southampton. They deserved to win the game, even though they had less possession, because where it mattered, they put the ball in the back of the net. And in football, that's what matters.
Like I honestly see, I'm honestly convinced at this rate that Steve Bruce has somehow replaced Brendan Rodgers as manager and has not given a cared in the world with their training, and that's why everyone's out of shape. Everyone just is like, we've only trained for 5 minutes, we're exhausted. Like Rodgers is like imitating Steve Bruce at this rate. Like it's I will say that, and people will be like, that's pretty savage, and I'm like, no, like that's how I'm looking at this. Like his game management is sorry, Brendan Rodgers' game management is like equal to a sausage. Like I will say that.
Have you seen the sausage chat earlier on? It was brilliant. Let me try and find it. It was highlight again. So it was start off with Ethan going eating a sausage roll, 7 out of 10, and then he's like the sausage roll could defend better than Marty, and then that goes to props to Marks and Spencer's no pork sausage roll, and then sausage Rodgers. So thank you guys again, Ethan and Chester. Big up to you two for cheering us up because. There's so many comments, guys, but it's just it's so bad, so awful.
So now I'm gonna flip the tables for you on this. Do you think we see Wesley Fofana dressed for Chelsea next weekend? No, I'm being serious. Like at this rate, did you see the video?
Have you seen this? Have you seen the again? Somebody sent me a Chelsea fan sent me this. So this is Chelsea after the Maddison's goal today. He's just sitting there, just miserable. If you just can't see him, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. So people are recording again. There's a cut, but he's just sitting there, miserable.
Like
maybe.
No. I honestly I hope I don't care anymore. Like everyone's saying, well, we need this amount of money. Like if Chelsea came in with 80 million. Because I know they're close to that, like from their latest offers, I'd take it. Because at this rate, he's toxic to the dressing room. He really is. I would love for this week to see Fofana out of the club and Rodgers out of the club. Like I'd be fine with that. I'd be absolutely okay with that. But then we also have these issues where we need to get players in, and nobody wants to come. Let's be serious here. Like that's like we're it's bad to say, but I think clubs would rather go to Man United right now with the disaster that they're currently dealing with, rather than
at least they get a load of money.
Yeah, I could be miserable here, but I'm going to make bank. At Leicester, it's just going to be absolute chaos.
Yeah,
it's just toxic.
It really is, and it's just seeing the comment section, the amount of the comments saying it's flat, it's not good enough. And I agree, I totally agree. And it's not, it's just, again, as somebody was saying earlier, it's about the mentality. If we leave everything on the pitch and we go, do you know what? They scored 2 great goals. There's nothing we can do. And go, no problem. When we said Arsenal a couple of seasons back, and it was like the 2-0 and we just felt flat, and Barnes got injured, and it was like literally the team ran themselves into the ground. And I'm like, do you know what? We did it. We did all we can. No problem. We lost the game. I'm okay. I'm okay with losing the games. Because I've watched us lose games. It's the way you go about losing them. Being 1-0 up in front of the home crowd.
I know.
Paying all this money. Do you know what I mean? Paying all the money that want to get behind the team, that want to... And they were good in the first half. They were cheering on the team. Right, we're going places. We're moving the ball quick. And then to finish the game like that. And again, Brendan uses 3 subs. We have 5. He's not used 5 subs.
And he complained about, about the whole aspect of not, having players switch out because of how tired they are. You have 5 subs, get them, switch them up. Like not only that, but like I don't know if you saw it, on TV or not, but like the King Power was disappear. Like people were leaving.
First goal.
People were leaving. They knew what was going to happen. Like it was like, oh, here we go. Like there's no point. Like
it's because we've seen it 10 times in the last year.
I know, and that's the thing. It's like I really don't know how to move forward with this. Like I said, I think the biggest thing that I have that I will say, and I'm going to reinforce it again, is that if the board doesn't act this weekend, then supporters are going to start questioning the board, and that's the truth of the matter. Because if the board doesn't recognize what's going on, then we have far bigger issues. Because we are, a very close to going off the side of a cliff. Like, we're that close. And if the board isn't recognizing that as an issue, then what we have as issues currently is, it hasn't even peaked as to what the biggest issues are. Like, that's my worry, is that if something isn't done now, we are there's going to be a lot of worry moving forward.
There is a lot of worry. And Lower's in the comments again. Shout out, mate. It's been a while, so hopefully you're well. Big Rodgers fan. Big Liverpool fan. Two very different things. Big third season syndrome for Rodgers. This is fourth, mate. I think you got rid of him a couple of months into his fourth season, I believe. But yeah, it's just such a bad place. I don't know. And if you guys are gonna like the video, thank you for the number. Again, your views have been brilliant recently. George is in. Hopefully you're doing well, George. Terrible. Yeah. Bored. Yeah. And again, as soon as the first goal went in, everybody was just like, yeah, I'm not interested, not gonna play. I'm just
Do you want to hear some quotes? Are you ready for some
an option? This genuinely could have been an option.
No, seriously, Pratt didn't play. Like, I'm going to be brutally honest. Why do you bring in Urian? He hasn't done anything. And
he didn't improve the game when he came in. Did he improve the game? He was slow on the ball. He lost the ball in places. Give it Pratt, like we saw against Aston Villa, again Arsenal, and he at least creates something.
Yeah. And so, are you ready for some quotes from the sausage Sir Sausage Rodgers, or whatever we're going to go with?
Shout out Jessica for
that. So we have hugely disappointed with the result. It wasn't too dissimilar to when we were here a couple of weeks ago with Brentford. Okay. Rodgers on the lack of momentum after the goal. We took the lead, and then as soon as Maddison scored, probably because at the moment, that's feeling of desperation to get the result, we stopped that we had been doing and offered momentum to Southampton. And then there's the third one.
Have you seen the screen at the moment?
Yeah, Ant's just having fun.
Which he always does. If you don't follow Ant on Twitter, he's good fun.
Like, I'm really upset that we didn't see Vestergaard on the wing at this rate. Like, he made Siunsu look like an absolute like he just embarrassed him. So like, I really thought he was going to be our Danish Messi, but apparently I was wrong on that. So, but it's just it's the same thing. Like the comments, like it's the same thing. Oh well, we stopped playing, we stopped doing this. You're the manager. Why didn't you motivate them?
Samore was awesome. Apparently, it was a backwards and forwards with Gray about Samore is that they wanted to get rid of him in the window. And they wanted to move him on, no problem at the beginning of the window. Then Brendan Rodgers was really impressed with how he trained over the preseason, which he was good. And then Brendan Rodgers goes, "No, I want to get rid of him now." So it's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
I don't know what to say, because this is just painful, and I really hope this ends, because we are just in a rut, and it's rotting. And as you were saying, I'll try and bring up some more comments by the BBC what Rodgers say, but again, it's a lot of like, oh well, what can we do? Nothing. Oh well, it's the same thing as 2 weeks ago. We're not like, no, this is what we've done to work on it in the meantime, and it's not good enough. I'm going to try and improve it. It's just like, yeah, as you were saying, it wasn't too dissimilar to when we were here against Brentford a couple of weeks ago.
In your home ground, in your home ground, like you're not away, and that's the thing. But the other thing I wanted to say is that with Rodgers and him talking about, mentality and the way you're playing. Remember when he said earlier in the summer, when he said, well, we're not going to be rebuilding our players because we don't have the funds to do so, but we're going to rebuild mentality. Apparently that mentality was to absolutely suck. Like like when I look at a quote like that from when he said that, and we were all like, okay, apparently like that was all a lie about a rebuild, and we're gonna rebuild our mentality. I look at that now and be like, what the heck did you do? Did you read like a couple haikus about bread and be like, okay, guys, let's hope for the best here? Like, you're a manager, but like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know where anybody, I don't know where how the board can sit down after this game and be like, so I think we're going to keep him on.
Yeah. Chelsea next, people. That's always an easy game.
We're going to get battered. Like, we're going to get absolutely battered
by
again.
Chelsea.
Oh, it's going to be disgusting. Like, I'm glad I'm not even going to be in the country because I'll be on holiday. I don't have to watch it. And I'm glad because I don't want to watch it. And I'm glad I'm going to miss the game. And the fact that I'm actually saying that, usually I'm excited to watch Leicester games. I'm not excited. It feels like it's a chore now.
And it did for large parts of last season as well.
And we mentioned that last season. It's no longer this, I get to sit down, I get to enjoy a drink or a coffee or whatever. I get to watch Leicester. It's more like Leicester are playing. I probably am just going to watch them. They're probably going to disappoint me. It is what it is. I'm just going to enjoy the next 2 hours. And then when the game's over, they've lost, they've drawn, they've somehow pulled off a win. You go, we're going to talk about the same thing. Next week's going to probably be a loss or draw, or we're somehow going to do the same thing. Nothing's going to change. We're going to bring up the same issues. And it's been like that all for 12 months now.
Yeah. And it's genuinely nothing I can add. And in terms of the way that they were coming on to us again, and if I'm a Saints fan, I'm going, do you know what? We've got the win. Fantastic. And rightfully so. But it's even little things like individual battles. Carl Walker-Peters had James Justin. I was like, this is going to end badly. You've got to make sure you keep an eye on your man. Che Adams, again, they took him off again. Good substitution. He comes in and scores 2 goals. Game management, just what's that? I think I put that as the exact same title for the Brentford game. And I might just say the same thing again because it's just we just need to get him gone. And I was holding on for a little bit of positive hope coming into the match. Maybe something good will come and 1-0. But again, it was the mentality of we're probably going to throw this away. And I hate to be like that. Rodgers on the team mentality. You could never fault their players for their attitude and mentality. Now it's about ensuring that we retain the confidence and not let it get too down. His orange spells, we look like a very good side, but we need to see the game through. What? Like, I get it. I get the words, but you've said this so many times. It's just unnecessary. Yeah, you just saw Ant's comment as well. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Don't know what we do. And
I really am at that point. Like I feel like I said, I'm beating a dead horse at this rate. There's nothing else that you can do in this situation. You got to get rid of him. You have to get rid of him. If he's still the if he's still the manager next week, come Chelsea, I don't know. I really don't know, and I do not trust the outcome of the rest of the season. Because if the board won't sack him now, when are they going to sack him? Like, really, when are they going to are they going to wait till the World Cup break when we are absolutely in the toilet?
Until the gap grows further and further, and we're still in the relegation zone. Normally, when did they get rid of Shakespeare? Was that a couple of months in? When they got rid of Ranieri, it was a few months in as well. So when we just dipped into the relegation zone, they got rid.
Yeah, and like, it's just like I think there's the GIF. There's a GIF going on. There's a GIF where there's a massive crack in the concrete, and Seth Rogen literally walks up with a piece of duct tape and like does like this.
Yeah,
that's where we're at right now. Like that's where we're truly at right now. Where we're like, if the board doesn't really do anything, it's like, oh, if we bring in like, I'm being sarcastic, but at the same time, it's Brendan Rodgers, and if he actually has control of funds, I wouldn't be surprised if we somehow make a signing. If we bring in Jan Bednarek, because like let's be serious here, that's the Brendan Rodgers player. That is putting duct tape on that type of a crack. It's like, haha, it's the Yannick Vestergaard. Haha, it's the Ryan Bertrand. Haha, like it's the same thing over and over again. You're not fixing anything.
And the thing is, even if Fofana's mentality was in the same place, I still think we lose that match as well.
Oh yeah, like let's be serious. Even if Wesley Fofana was playing, there was no links to Chelsea, and he's like, I'm fully committed to Leicester City. We already know that that's at an all-time zero. But if he was fully committed to the club and was like, I'm here for good, nothing would have helped. Like he's one man, he's one kid. Let's be serious. He's 21. Yeah, Ethan said it perfectly actually in the comments. I don't think we're actually going to beat Stockport. Like I really don't. Like I don't. You know what I mean? Like
when is that coming up?
it's
Stockport.
Tuesday, I think.
Is it this Tuesday?
It's this Tuesday.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Like we're talking about Stockport. Stockport, they're League Two, right?
I don't know.
I think Stockport.
I've been taking like the football players on one game at a time.
I think Stockport actually is League Two, and I think they just came up from the Vanarama National League. They were playing in non-league football last year, I'm pretty sure. And if that's the case, and we're not feeling confident that they're going to beat Stockport, then we are.
And we beat Southampton. Southampton are a team that are in the dirt. The reason why I called it El Sacico at the beginning of for the Wednesday when I had a preview with Owen, because it was like who's going to get sacked first, and I think it was Oli versus Nuno, and last year it's like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I was right. Stockport were in the National League last season. They were in non-league football last year, and we're talking about not feeling confident about that.
And not even feeling confident, going into the mentality that we're going to lose. I hate to be that guy, but we are going in going, are we going to lose? Probably. And that's how I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
You go ahead.
It's just the same thing. It's like, I'm not confident. I'm really not confident. And we're talking about team after team after team. It doesn't matter what level of skill they are. It's the same thing. I'm not confident. The fact that we're actually talking about the fact that we don't feel confident about a team that was in non-league football last year is bad. And the thing is, and this is the thing, is that nothing will be done. The board won't do anything. We'll come out against Stockport. We'll probably have one hell of a game where we'll win like 4-5-0. Like it's, and then people will be like, oh look, Brendan fixed the club. And they'll be like, we need to trust him. He is the one. And everyone's going to be like, no, stop. But there's going to be this select group, few people that are going to be like, no, he did it. They beat Stockport. And then we're going to get absolutely thrashed against Chelsea. And then everyone's going to be like, help.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing.
And we just need to, again, so somebody's put in the comments again, Scott's put in the comment, thank you for your comment, Scott. Who will take the role and if Rodgers' staff leave? Well, actually, a lot of the staff over the summer, a few members of staff have actually left as calling that. Brendan Rodgers brought a doctor in, they've got rid of him, brought their own in. Same with the head of recruitment, Lee Congton's gone to Atalanta, we've brought our own in. So the club are making moves to go, right, we're preparing for the long term without Rodgers. I think so, otherwise they'd still be here at the club. Now it's just when do they decide? I think it might be, I think somebody put in the comments, when they sell Fofana, then they've got the money to then go and fire Rodgers and then get rid of Rodgers and then bring their own player in potentially.
I think I really do think I think that will be the thing that will happen. I don't think that he'll be sacked today, and I don't think he'll be sacked tomorrow. I think what will happen is that the board will take over, facilitate a deal with Chelsea to get Fofana over line so they can get rid of that. And then as soon as that's been confirmed, we will see Rodgers go. Because I really do believe that I will say I won't be shocked to see that happen before the Tuesday match against Stockport. I think what they want to get this done now. I think the alarms are going. I hope, because I don't think, I hope the alarms are going off in Leicester, and it's like, we need to get this sorted ASAP. Rodgers is not the answer. We need to sell Fofana because clearly he does not want to be here anymore. And once we get the money, we'll facilitate, we'll get rid of Rodgers, and we'll have a temp in for the Tuesday match, and we'll figure something out. I think that's your best option.
No, it makes sense. And one shot on target.
Yeah.
Leeds put two past them. Yeah. Leeds.
And what the thing is, though, is that Rodgers really is out of excuses. He can't use Europe as an excuse. They're playing one game a week. What is he going to use? Well, we're playing Tuesday against Stockport. I wanted to rest my best players. we can play. I know there's people that have discussed the fact that we can blame the board, we can do this, we can do that, but the manager's the one that is, has to bring motivation to the squad. He's the one that dictates, decisions at, within the football and during matches, and he hasn't done any of that. He's passing the buck every single time. He doesn't take any blame. He puts it on everybody else. It's the same old song and dance. It's like, you got to get that out of there, because the longer that he remains in there, the poison festers.
The more it rots, the more the club rots. We can't afford it to. Genuinely can't afford it to. And the thing is, we've had people on, like very positive people. I'd love to hear what Matt was saying about this as well. And that's a great point. We beat them 9-0 a few seasons ago. I'm not expecting him to go and do that again, but then we bottled it. So there's a few teams that are in that running. Yeah, Gerrard, Lampard, Rodgers, Hasenhüttl. Yeah. If the games were 60 minutes, we might be able to get some more points, but that's not how it works, is it? Yeah, Rodgers has more motivation as a graveyard. Alex, anything to add? Because I think I've covered everything, and we're just sick to death of it. Roll on Stockport.
Yeah, I hope that the board act. I hope that a decision's made. I hope that Rodgers is no longer the manager come Tuesday. I hope Fofana is no longer a player for Leicester City. And I hope that they can figure this out before the end of the transfer window. I have zero hope that anything is going to come in. I have zero hope that I don't have any motivation. So I just hope the club do something, because we're at that point where the club needs to act. There is no motivation. There is no, well, let's hope for the best here. At this point, we just the club needs to act. And there's no more excuses. The board needs to act, or, supporters are going to start turning on the board. And saying that is a statement.
People in the comments are turning on the board,
and that's
which is something that they definitely don't want. And they deserve some criticism. I don't think the criticism that they've received from the comments and from on Twitter is deserved.
No.
But there is some responsibility they have to take here.
Absolutely.
And just one thing again, if he sacks tomorrow, will you go live? If they get sacked, if he gets sacked and I'm around and I can, I will. If I can, I will. But with work, with other stuff, and what it is, I work from home a lot of the time as well. So sitting at home in front of your desk for 12 hours a day, it's not fun. So anytime I try mental health wise, get out and go and meet people, because trust me, sitting on your own for long periods of time is not good. But if I can, I will try. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, make sure to follow Alex over there. Make sure to follow, and there's a link to his channel in the description as well. We'll see everybody in the next video.